Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If my voice is sounding a little bit deep, a little bit nasal, obviously I do have a little bit of a cold, but that is not going to stop me from going through my 2025 TBR with you guys today. I know it is a little bit later in the month than I would typically post like my yearly TBR, but was taking some time off. It was much needed, honestly, so we're just gonna have to deal with the fact that it's like halfway through January now, but I do have a lot of really fun books to talk about today. Obviously, I'm very excited about all of these, hence why I put them on the TBR, so let's just get into it. I really hope you guys enjoy the video. So I only have about 15 books on this list. I know some people do the like 25 for 25, and to those brave souls out there, I wish you the best of luck. That is not the life for me though, so I decided to stick to only 15 books that I'm hoping to read this year. I have some new releases, I have some series continuations, and then I just have some like, you know, starts of series, standalones, what have you. So let's just get into this by talking about the couple of new releases that I'm really excited about this year. I don't think I'm gonna do these in publication order just because I don't know when these books are being published off the top of my head. I will put up on the screen when it is being published, so I will give you that information. I just don't know it currently. So the first book, and the book that I'm probably the most excited about out of all 15 of these books, is obviously Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales by Heather Fawcett. This one I do know the release date for because I need it. I need it in my life right now, so I've been like counting down the days. It does come out on February 11th, and I cannot wait. I'm so excited. Obviously, I love the Emily Wilde series. It has shot its way to the top of like my favorite series lists. Throughout the last week of December, I did a reread of the first and second books in the series, and it was so fun. And I think I've actually cemented that the first book is my favorite out of the two of them, so a little bit of a shift from what I was initially thinking, but both of them are stunning and beautiful and amazing, and I love Emily and Wendell so much. I love the Fae in this series, and I'm really excited for the turn that the third book in this series is going to take, because it's a turn that I think a lot of people who really enjoy this series have been waiting for, so I'm really excited to see how Heather Fawcett does it. I do believe we have seen some glimpses of kind of what the vibe of the third one is going to be like, so to get an entire book full of it, oh, I'm so excited. Also, the second book does leave off on a cliffhanger, so I need it. I need it in my life. It's less than a month. Yeah, because it's the 12th now. It's less than a month until release date. I will be a new woman when I get this book. The second book that I have to talk about is probably something in hindsight I wouldn't put on here, but I made this TBR like early December before I'd read like another book from this author, and like I probably wouldn't have put it on here. But I do probably plan on reading it, and that is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. Me and Miss Hazelwood have not been having a good time recently, okay? The last 3 books that I've read from her have been borderline duds, honestly. After reading Love Theoretically back in 2023, I was like, all right, I'm ready for anything Ali Hazelwood puts out. I'm so excited. Oh no. No, I just realized the last 4 Ali Hazelwood books have not worked for me. So I'm really just embodying the definition of insanity. I'm just gonna keep trying and trying and trying. But I'm too intrigued by this one not to, because this is going to be her first like sports romance. Now, I don't think I've ever actually read a sports romance before, but I am just too interested to see what Ali Hazelwood kind of does with that concept to not read it, you know? So I do believe this takes place between our main character and like a swimmer. I think that's the sport, maybe. It's called Deep End, so that makes sense. And I don't know anything else about it, honestly, but that's all I need to know. And I think this one also comes out sometime in February, so maybe I will pick it up in February and like read it for Valentine's Day. That could be kind of fun. I do love a romance book around that time, and maybe that'll fit the bill. Maybe this will turn the tide of me and Ali Hazelwood's relationship, you know, but only time will tell. Then the next book that I have on here is a book that I had on my TBR last year, but I don't know how many times the release date has been changed for this book. So many times. I know that much, but that is A Witch's Guide to Magical Inkeeping by Sangyu Mandana. I feel like, you know, I just keep waiting for it, and then the release date keeps getting pushed back, but I will be there whenever it comes out because I really want to read it, because this is the author that wrote The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which I read back in 2023. I loved it. I had such a good time, and I feel like this one is definitely going to have the same vibes, so I will be just patiently waiting for whenever this one actually does come out. I think initially it was going to come out in April, but I think it's been pushed back to September potentially. But this is just a witchy story, I'm gonna assume, that follows somebody who's opening an inn. I don't need to know anything else about it. It's probably gonna be cozy. I'm into it. Then we have another one of my very, very anticipated releases for this year, and that is the Geographers Map to Romance by India Holton. This one I know comes out sometime in March, so a lot of really good releases coming out at the beginning of the year. Mainly just this one and Emily Wilde, but like these are the two that I need in my life right now. So I read the first book in the series last year. I read, what's it called? The Ornithologist Field Guide to Love, and this was honestly just everything I needed from India Holton because her writing is already so kooky and witty and fun, but in this one they're like natural historian, ornithologist, like that kind of academia vibe, shall we say. I'm pretty sure the series is called Love's Academic. That's everything I could have needed. It also does have like a historical setting, which again is right up my alley. I loved the first one so much. It was just such a delightful time, like one of the most delightful reading experiences I had last year. So I've been highly anticipating this one, and it is obviously following some geographers. I do believe we were introduced to them briefly in the first book, so I've been waiting to see the rest of their story. Then next up we have a book that I've again been waiting for quite a while, and that is Oathbound by Tracy Deonn. I'm sure a lot of people are also very excited for this one because it has been a while since the second book in the Legendborn cycle came out. I think it came out in December of 2022. Maybe is when I read it, or like November, like around that time. And I read it when it came out, and I've been really excited for the third book in the series because this is such a good YA series. It's kind of a dark academia, Arthurian legend inspired series that has been so excellent so far. I feel like the second book in the series did feel a little bit meandering at times, but I'm still really hyped to get into the third installment in this series and see what it's like. I'm pretty sure this is slated to be a quartet, so I cannot wait to see what the penultimate book is like in the series. I feel like there's probably going to be somewhat of a cliffhanger. And then the last book in my new releases category is already out. I just don't own a copy of it yet, but that is Immortal by Sue Lynn Tan. I have an interesting relationship with Sue Lynn Tan because I really enjoyed Daughter of the Moon Goddess. It was almost a 5-star read, I believe, at the time. And then I read, what's that one called? Heart of the Sun Warrior, the second one in that duology. And I thoroughly disliked it. I did not enjoy that book. I did not think the series needed to be continued, so I was like, no. I'm not into it. But despite the less than stellar last experience I had with Sue Lynn Tan's work, I am so excited for this new release because it is I think like romantic fantasy standalone kind of thing that again like pulls from Asian mythology. So I think it's gonna be excellent because I really, really loved Daughter of the Moon Goddess. So I feel like I'm really, really gonna love this one too. Honestly, I have no idea what this book is about. I did briefly look up the summary, and what I can tell you is that our main character, I think, goes to the immortal realm for some particular reason, and she ends up like forging a bond with the god of war or something to that effect, which definitely sounds like something I think I'm gonna enjoy. I also really loved Sue Lynn Tan's writing style in the Celestial Kingdom duology, so I feel like that will be present in this as well, and I can't wait to get my hands on a copy. Alright, so that concludes my new releases section, the only other section I have of this video, because as I'm looking through my like yearly TBR spread, I think there are only 2 series that I'm technically continuing. So let me just start with those, and then we'll get into the like standalones, starts of series, that kind of thing. So the first series is actually a series that I'm really hoping to finish this year, and I feel like I definitely will because I only have 1 book left in the series. And that is the Lady Trent series by Marie Brennan. I told myself I was going to read this last year, and I just never got around to it. Well, actually, I think I started it, and then I stopped reading it. But I really want to read this one soon, because I believe it has more of a snowy setting, probably, which I obviously need to read in winter. So hopefully I will be finishing this series in the beginning part of the year. That's definitely the goal. Whether or not it'll happen, different story, but you know, we're gonna hope. But if you guys don't know the Lady Trent series, it is basically a series that is following our main character Isabella, who is a woman that studies dragons. She's going on all of these expeditions, and she like draws pictures and stuff. There are even like illustrations of hers in the book, which are really fun. Like, look at this. That's cool. There are a bunch of these like throughout the book. You probably won't be able to see any of them, but like just take my word for it. But I really loved the 4th book in the series, which I read last year, so I need to read this. I need to finish this series. I mean, it's only 300 pages, and I will feel so accomplished when I have done so. So this is happening soon. I'm making that a goal. And then the other book that I need to read to continue a series is, again, Skyward Flight by Brandon Sanderson. I have been saying for months that I need to read the novellas that are in Skyward Flight, and I just haven't. I can't get myself to do it. And I know you don't necessarily have to read them before Cytonic. I think some of you guys have told me that I can read them after Cytonic, so if you have an opinion on that, let me know. I'd love to know. But at some point this year, I do need to read them because I would love to continue on the Skyward series because I really enjoy it. It's a young adult sci-fi series that is just very fun, and I know I'm gonna like the novellas because one of my issues with Starsight was the fact that it focused solely on Spensa, and the other characters that you're introduced to in the first book aren't like super present. And Skyward Flight kind of takes the time to focus on those side characters again, so I know I'm gonna like it, but like I just can't get myself to do it. So hopefully I will be reading Skyward Flight and Cytonic. I don't know in what order I'm doing that, but if you guys have an opinion, please let me know. And then I guess technically another series continuation I have is another Discworld book. Discworld is like a 40 book fantasy series, but it's technically broken up into like small sub-series, but it's like all a part of Discworld. So technically I will be continuing it, and hopefully I will be continuing it by reading Guards. I'm very excited about this one. I think I put this on my fall TBR and I didn't read it. Don't tell anybody. But I really want to read some more Discworld this year because I have like a lot of the books and I just need to like get myself to read them. Honestly, I feel like maybe it's because I have the mass markets and I do not like reading out of mass market paperbacks, which is a stupid reason. I'm aware, but I'm gonna make myself do it. I'm gonna force myself to do it because I know the story inside is going to be great. But I do believe Guards focuses on the City Watch in the main like capital city of Discworld called like Ankh-Morpork or something to that effect. And I know a lot of people absolutely love Guards. They absolutely love Sam Vimes, and I just need to see what's up. I just haven't gotten myself to read it yet, but I want to read more Discworld. I'm gonna start with this one, hopefully, you know. And then the rest of the books I have are either starts of series or standalone, so we're just gonna do them all together. The first one of those being Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman. This is, I believe, a book that I put in my winter TBR, so I'm not gonna like talk too much about it. But it is a lit RPG fantasy, start to a fantasy series that I know a lot of people really enjoy, and I think it's very fun, very funny. I believe we're following our main character Carl as he gets thrust into this like dungeon-y game show with his ex-girlfriend's cat, and they have to like advance through the dungeon and like kill things in the dungeon, and it's like televised or something. It just sounds very unique. Not like anything I've ever read before, that's for sure. So I'm very excited about this one, and I think me and Cass are gonna buddy read this, so hopefully we'll both be entertained at least. Then I have the start to another series which I'm also so beyond excited about, and that is Paladins Grace by T. Kingfisher. I do have a library copy of this right now because I'm hoping to read this month, but I read Swordheart, which is set in the same world as this series, back in November, and I really loved it, so I've been so excited about stepping into this like actual series that takes place in that world. I don't know anything about this book specifically, but I do know it has similar vibes to Swordheart, where it's like a funny fantasy romance kind of time, and I've heard great things from like everybody that I've seen read this, so I've been wanting to read the series for so long, and 2024 5 is the time that I will be doing that. So I can't wait for this one. I really want to read it this month. And then I do have a couple of translated books on my TBR as well. So first up we have Lonely Castle in the Mirror by Mizuri Tsujimura. This is translated from Japanese. I've definitely heard it has like Ghibli vibes, even though I know this does have like an adaptation that's not Ghibli, but I'm sure it kind of has that like whimsical yet poignant kind of vibe that a lot of Ghibli movies tend to have. I believe in this book we are following 7 young people who like end up stepping through the mirrors in their bedroom, and they end up in this castle, I would assume. And it says there's some sort of game going on. Oh, apparently at the start of each day they must leave by 5 or face a terrifying penalty. They must all hunt for a key that will grant only one wish, and they must tell no one about their experience. So this is one that I've seen a lot of people read and a lot of people really enjoy. I feel like I will probably really enjoy it as well, so I'm excited about it. And then the other translated work I have is We'll Prescribe You a Cat by Shu Ishida. I'm thinking this is a group of short stories potentially that is just following a lot of people that are prescribed cats. Like I know personally if I was prescribed cats that would aid any ailment that I happen to have, so this is a book that just immediately drew me in very excited to finally get to it. Then I do have one classic that I'm going to put on my TBR. I do tend to think, for me personally, putting classics on my yearly TBR is not my best move. However, I love a Jane Austen read every now and then, so I think I'm definitely going to want one in 2025. So I decided that out of the two I have left, I want to try and read Sense and Sensibility this year. The other one that I have left to read is Mansfield Park, like out of her like 6 full-length novels. And I feel like I've rarely heard someone say a good thing about Mansfield Park. I'm sure I'll enjoy it when I get to it, but I know it's not anybody's favorite out of the 6. So like the chronic procrastinator I am, I'm going to put that one off until much, much later, and I'm gonna read the one that sounds more interesting now. I believe Sense and Sensibility is following 2 sisters, one being Sense and one being Sensibility, and in typical Jane Austen fashion, I'm sure we're going to focus on them finding husbands, basically. I also really want to read Sense and Sensibility because I want to watch the, I don't know what year it's from. I believe it's from the 90s. It's got like Gwyneth Paltrow in it, and Hugh Grant, and Alan Rickman is also in it, I think. That one has always intrigued me, and I've always wanted to watch it, but I don't want to watch the adaptation before I read the book, so I need to read the book so I can watch the adaptation, and I'm very excited about it. But I'm interested to see what I think of this one, because last year I read my favorite and least favorite Jane Austen works. So we'll see where this one kind of fits into that ranking. And then the last book that I have on my TBR is a kind of witchy read, which I've definitely seen around a lot, and I've always been interested by it. And that is The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. I've read a couple of Alex E. Harrow books, and I've really enjoyed both of them, because I think I read Starling House and The 10,000 Doors of January. I think those are the only ones. It's like witchy suffragette movement, kind of. That's all I know about it, I'm sorry. But I know I really love Alex E. Harrow's writing. I don't know if this one was written before or after The 10,000 Doors, but I'm just interested to see what I think of this one, because I've seen a lot of people read it, and a lot of people tend to really enjoy it. But I'm just interested by this one, and I'll probably save this for like, I don't know, late summer. Oh, it's blurred by Laini Taylor. It says a gorgeous and thrilling, I do not know that word.
Paean.
Paean? I have never seen this word before. Leave it to Laini Taylor to use some words that I don't know. A gorgeous and chilling paean to the ferocious power of women. The characters live, bleed, and roar. What a blurb, honestly. I trust Laini Taylor. I feel like she wouldn't lead me astray, so should I say I'm excited about it? You guys already know. I don't have anything else to say about it, but that's the last book that I have on my 2025 TBR. Oh, also, if you guys wanted to know, paean apparently means a song of praise or triumph, or a thing that expresses enthusiastic praise. You've learned something new. I've learned something new. Fun. But that does conclude my 2025 TBR. Those are the 15 books that I'm hoping I can get to this year. Obviously, every single TBR at the beginning of the year, I'm like, I'm gonna read all of these. It's gonna be so easy. And then I never do it. But I feel like maybe I have a hope of actually reading all of these. None of them are crazy. None of them are super long, which I feel like is a problem that I have run into on my last couple TBRs. So I'm keeping it realistic this time, and we will just see how it goes. But obviously, the end of this video begs the question, what are some books that are on your guys' 2025 TBR? Have you started on your 2025 TBR? It's currently the 12th, and I have not finished a single book this year so far. So hopefully I will be making some progress on my 2025 TBR very soon, but I would love to know if you guys are doing better than me. But truly, I just cannot believe that we are already in 2025. I am so excited, however, for the reading year ahead. I'm hoping it is slightly better than 2024. But we're just gonna see. But I hope you all have the best reading year. I hope I have a great reading year. So yes, very excited for the year to come. Also, before we go, I would like to thank everybody over on my Patreon. If you're ever looking for more content from me, that is always linked down below. But with that, I'm going to let you guys go. So I hope you're all having an amazing Monday or whatever day it is that you are watching this video, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!